Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you...
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Reyhons, the General Manager at Iron Oaks. Thanks for joining me for another session with Java with John. I have a couple of guests with me today. I have Brian Quillen, our Senior Director of Community Services, and also David Jett, our Director of Architect and Landscape. And gentlemen, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
So David, if you could summarize for our residents here, explain what your role is here at Iron Oaks.
Well, the Architecture Landscape Department's role is basically to enforce the ALC guidelines. We don't make the guidelines, the committee does, the board approves them. Our role is to enforce those guidelines. We do that in a number of ways. We do it from a perspective of doing what we call condo search. And when a home sells here, the state law requires us to inspect the property. We go out and inspect the property, make sure all permits have been obtained for that property. We also do it by giving permits as people want to do paint their house, put on sunscreens, or put in a fire pit, or artificial turf, put up walls, whatever. They come in and get a permit from us, and then once it's done, we go out and inspect, make sure what they said they did was done. Then we also do it from, we have a compliance officer that is currently on furlough, but would daily go out into the community and drive the community and the golf course and down the walking paths to make sure our landscaping requirements, trash cans, and those type of things were in compliance.
Okay, that's a big job, David. So how do you hold our residents to the standards and the guidelines? By way of example, I get phone calls and emails, as does Brian, about a homeowner left their trash can out, a light's too bright, a tree wasn't trimmed, maybe during a construction project things got a little messy. Are those the types of things that you deal with, and how would you enforce that?
Yes, we do. Our process is when we either see a violation or hear of a violation, we will go out and physically take a picture of it. We will send that homeowner a what we call a courtesy letter. State law requires us to give them 21 days to fix that, or at least notify us when they can't get it fixed. After that point in time, we will go back out and do a follow-up. If it's fixed, then we close it. If not, then we take the next step, which is a first fine letter that we send a homeowner, and then they have 14 days to fix it. Again, we'll follow up on that, and if they don't get it fixed, we'll send them a third letter, again with 14 days. And in the third letter, if they don't fix it, we tell them that the HOA will fix it at homeowner's expense. But most of the time, we go a little bit into the second letter, but that's usually about it.
That's great to hear. So I'm curious, if I'm a homeowner, and I see it a lot when I drive into the property each day, I see some remodeling going on. I assume that's something they'd have to get a permit for, is that correct?
That's correct. They'll get a permit from us, and then some remodeling depend. Now, if they're doing inside the house, no. We're only concerned with outside the house, okay? We tell folks, anything you do outside your house other than have your bushes trimmed, you need a permit from us.
Okay. And how much is a permit?
Well, it depends what they're doing. If you're doing a casita, the current charge is $50. If you're having your house painted or doing sunscreens, they're $20. So most of them are 20. There's some 25. There's some 30. But the big stuff, pool or a casita, is 50.
Is there anything that is complimentary as far as permits, or is there always a fee?
No, there's certain permits that are free, but we require the permit so we can update it and make sure everything's staying consistent. But if you're doing stuff like refreshing your rocks, or if you've got had sunscreens on the house and they're looking really bad, they need to be replaced, or I need to replace my garage door, or those type of things, it's maintenance permit, no charge.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think every couple of weeks you have a committee meeting.
Yes.
And during that committee meeting, is that when you discuss the various permits or projects that residents would like to complete?
Yeah, there's certain projects that require a committee review. So like if you're doing a casita, you're doing swimming pools, you're doing a wall, most of this stuff is that needs a county or city permit. They want to review them first so that they can kind of, what I call bless it, if you will. Because we don't want the homeowner to go out and spend $250, $300 on a county permit, and then submit it to us, and they say, oh, you know, you gotta change this. And then guess what? They gotta go back and get another county permit.
Okay,
So
so we
we're
should
trying to
always start
avoid
with
that
you.
process, yes.
Okay.
They start with us. That's what we inform them.
Okay, that's very helpful to know. Now, like patrol, you also are available by appointment, is that correct?
That's right. We started with the coronavirus. We started doing appointments. It's helped quite a bit because one, it eliminates the number of homeowners in our office. Otherwise, we'd have 5 or 7 in there. We got a small office, and it just doesn't work that way. And it helps us also to really have some stuff prepared for the homeowner, so we can have part of the permit filled out before they come in to save them time.
Now, one of the things that you're close to, and I know you're not a realtor by trade, but there's a lot of real estate transactions that you're aware of. They all funnel through your office, is that correct?
That is correct. They go through the company that we work with, which is Mutual Omaha, but their system, Condo Search, yes.
Okay, condo search. And how's the activity been here in Iron Oaks?
Well, obviously, we took a big hit about in the March, April timeframe, and then it started building back up. It's slowing down right now, which is typically the slow time for homes. Selling in June, July, August, and plus looks like this summer we've got a low supply of homes on the market. So between those two things, it's slowing a little bit.
Okay. And Brian, I'd like to ask you a question. I understand that ALD also has some revenue sources generated from the department. Could you explain that?
Yeah, the one thing that people may not realize is that when a house does sell, as David alluded to, he goes out and does a disclosure inspection from a report that we get from a company called Condo Search. Part of the Condo Search process is also informs the realtor of what fees are to be paid at closing, including our face fund fee, which of course right now stands at 1 year's annual assessment of $21.75. But we also receive revenue in forms of a disclosure fee in the amount of $361 for each home that closes in Iron Oaks. So, we close anywhere from 240 to 260 homes a year, times $361 a home. That's a nice amount of revenue for the association, and all that money flows right into the association's general operating fund.
That's great. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for your time today. This has been a great learning experience, not only for me, but hopefully for our residents as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me for another session with Java with John. I'd like to announce this week's specials. Our early bird dinner special from 2 to 5 in Stone and Barrel this week is homemade meatloaf with mushroom gravy with whipped potatoes and seasonal vegetables along with the side salad. Then on Friday night, we have our shrimp fry with French fries and coleslaw. And don't forget to grab a cup of Chef Jeff's famous clam chowder. And then on Saturday night, we have an 8-ounce cut and a 12-ounce cut of prime rib, along with your choice of potato and vegetable. And then Sunday night, we're bringing back the Dr. Pepper ribs, the barbecued ribs that Chef makes so well. Absolutely delicious, along with French fries and coleslaw. So we hope you join us for these specials. And again, remember, wear your mask, social distance. Hope you're feeling well. Stay safe.
Clap along.